Yeah, what up? Triple B base boxing basement. Okay. Remember, hit the like, because it protects the channel. Yeah, because the haters are out there in force trying to stop your main man's channel. Base boxing basement. Right. So, the cringe never stops. The cringe never stops when it comes to Jake Paul. Some people will say he's the worst thing to happen in boxing because he takes all the attention away. You know, all these genuine fighters desperate to get a payday against Jake Paul because they know it's big bucks. There's nothing wrong, if you're a fighter, you know, and you're risking your health, you're shortening your life expectancy. I read a report and it said that the average pro boxer lives 10 years less than the average person. So it's obviously damaging. I mean, there are always exceptions. Jake LaMotta, who just ate punches like breakfast, lived to 95. Max Schmeling, 99. But, obviously being punched up in the head is not... it's a dangerous way to make money. And you got to respect the boxers. But they don't really feel it till they've retired, and then they kind of like, damn, well, it's a bit late now. Can't wind back the clock. But obviously, so they deserve to get paid. It's like the gladiators. They're risking their health, their life for people to watch people get knocked out. So I don't, there's no haterism from the Triple B about pro boxers and pro MMA fighters wanting to get money. But all these people going after the Jake Paul bag is cringe. This is a guy, obviously he started a Disney YouTuber or whatnot. He can fight at his level. He's not dreadful. But, when you got people like Canelo, Maris Bradis actually had what did he do? He put a tattoo on his leg about Jake Paul, dressed up as Super Mario, and desperately trying to find a Jake Paul fight. I mean, a guy like Maris Bradis, who's a very good world champion, it's just pathetic. And someone else has thrown their hat into the Jake Paul ring. Okay? Now, this is interesting. It's cringe, but it's interesting. So, Alexander Usyk, most probably, and certainly in my opinion, the best pound-for-pound boxer, especially as he's moved up the weights as he has, fighting huge men at heavyweight and embarrassing them. Now wants to fight Jake Paul. No, really. He wants to fight Jake Paul. But he says in MMA, obviously in boxing, he'd kill him. He'd last a round. I don't know what Usyk's background is in other combat sports. He says he trains in jiu-jitsu and wrestling and stuff like that as part of his training. So he obviously has some versing in the martial arts, not just boxing. Jake Paul, I think, was a county level wrestler or something. So, he's done a bit of wrestling himself. But, look, this is just crazy, man. A guy like Usyk, who's earned tens and tens of millions of pounds out of boxing, who's 38, now is angling for a Jake Paul fight in an MMA as well, not boxing. Obviously, he'd kill him in MMA. I mean, obviously, he'd make a lot of money. Obviously, Usyk is confident it could happen, but it's cringe. It's like, it's like Maris Bradis tattooing his leg. Oh, I really want to fight Jake Paul. Yeah. I mean, Jake Paul. Usyk, the best fighter in the world, the heavyweight champion, has earned tens of millions. I just think it's another PR nonsense, But believe me, he'd take it. If you get paid 100 mil, how much did Mayweather get for fighting McGregor? 100 mil? 100 million for fighting a guy having his first pro fight? It's crazy. So I can understand why Usyk, would like that fight, but it's a bit cringe. It's like he's angling for it. He's fishing for it. He's fishing to fight. Who would ever imagine a situation when the best heavyweight in the world in boxing would be fishing for a fight against a media celebrity, a YouTuber, a Disney actor No, he can, for his level, he can fight okay. Obviously, he's pumped full of PEDs, but he's been training like a pro for years. But, what's his best win, 60-year-old Mike Tyson, well, he's 58, but, right? Anderson Silva was 46. He beat a couple of bums who were pro boxers, but mostly it's MMA guys and completely shot guys. How can you go from fighting, a 58-year-old Mike Tyson and going the distance and then fighting the best heavyweight in the world? It's crazy, man. It's just so cringe. As well as this, right? Tommy Fury. So Tommy Fury, right, actually beat Jake Paul. Tommy Fury is an area level professional boxer. Now if you look at his body, he's got everything. He looks like he was made in a lab to be a perfect pro boxer, in the sense that he's got very broad shoulders. Yeah, he looks very athletic and muscular. His legs are not too big, right? But he can't really fight. I mean, he can to an extent, like at area level, but he can't really box. He's got really long arms too. I mean, that should be perfect for a boxer, but he just can't bang. He's not that coordinated. He's not that accurate. Yeah, of course, obviously he is a pro boxer. He's unbeaten pro boxer, but at a low level. Yeah, and Tommy Fury has been offered, I think, $3 million to fight Jake Paul in a rematch, and he's complaining. He's complaining on Twitter. Tommy Fury, oh yeah, no way would I fight you for $3 million. It's like, you've already beaten this guy. Huh? Now, he earns well, Tommy Fury, and his sket, Molly May, or whatever she's called, she earns well as well out of social media and promoting products, So they've been on Love Island, or haven't they, or something like that? I don't watch that nonsense, as if I'd watch that bread and circus sickness. But I think he met her on Love Island, right? Who cares, man? I haven't ever watched a minute of that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And that's for NPCs and normies who have no lives, who can't wait to watch the next installment of Love Island and Strictly Come Dancing. What a bunch of losers, man. But yeah, so Tommy Fury has been having some back and forth with what's his face, sorry, excuse me. Well, with a number of people, with Anthony Fowler as well, but he's been having some back and forth with Jake Paul about fighting for only $3 million. He's like, oh, I deserve more than that. You know what I'm saying? Well, technically, you could say, well, hang on a minute, it's worth more than that to fight. He's got a point in a way. The exact quote is this. So, Jake Paul said, I'm offering Tommy Fury $3 million to fight me in 2025. The number is $4 million if he can legally get in the US. Let's see who's ducking who. It's pathetic, man. And this is modern boxing, right? And Tommy goes, oh, why would I agree to fight? It's less than our first fight, and I beat you. You're deluded. I mean, that's a fair point. If you made more than $4 million for the first fight, then he's done very well out of that. Yeah. So yeah, it's fair enough that he might want to, he might want to be paid properly. Not because he thinks Jake Paul is a threat, but because he thinks the fight is worth more than that. That's possible. But there's other ways. You go, right, I'll fight you for $4 million, but I want X percentage of the pay-per-view gate or whatever, something like that. The pay-per-view buys. You know what I'm saying? And Anthony Fowler, Anthony Fowler, the CBD salesman. All he talks about is CBD all the time. And he's done well out of that, You've got to give him credit. But he's got all these people to back his product, including Ricky Hatton, who mentions it all the time. All these other guys, and he's a snake oil salesman. He's got all these guys to push his product, but it's working. He must be a multimillionaire from it. But so he failed as a boxer. Well, in the sense that he didn't make it as a pro. He was a decent boxer, but he never made it as a pro. but he's raking it in for his CBD, and he even said to Tommy Fury, he goes, basically, you're a pussy hole for not accepting 4 million to fight a guy who is essentially a YouTuber. Well, he's not really a YouTuber now. He is a boxer. He's just a limited one. You know what I'm saying? He's just a limited one. So I would suggest, I don't know, I would suggest people start ignoring the Jake Paul. But I don't know how even the normies, the YouTube guys can still get excited about Jake Paul. He doesn't seem to do any YouTubing anymore. He just does boxing. And people will still follow that wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. It's pathetic, man. It's pathetic to think that pro boxing seems to revolve around Jake Paul. And is that what we're headed for? It becomes a circus. It's always been a bit of a circus, pro boxing. But at least in the old days, we had, definitive champions and limited weight divisions. We didn't have whack women's boxing, I read on the other day, I was lurking on some kind of forum, and I was looking at it, and someone was saying Katie Taylor would knock out everyone on this forum in one round. How could he be so deluded? She could barely knock out another 9-stone woman. Yeah. And I think that on this forum there were some pros that post there. Katie Taylor could knock out anyone in a round. Yeah, not even my grandmother, and she's passed away, as Gordon Ramsay would say. It's people are so deluded. They see stuff on TV and look, Adam Silver goes, she's the Mayweather of women's boxing. Well, Mayweather can hardly knock anyone out anyway, and apparently Katie Taylor is going to knock out fully grown men. I'd knock out Katie Taylor with either hand tied behind my back. You know what I'm saying? She's awful. So this is the joke that modern boxing is. Jake Paul and women's boxing, But at least we still have some real fights. But it is cringe to see Tommy Fury turn down a 4 million payday. And it's even more cringe to see Usyk back off. Right? Not back off. Challenge Jake Paul to an MMA fight. I mean, stop with this already. Stop.